So anyway, just to do my race recap with video because I don't feel like typing it up. Too tired to do it. I did the Groundhog Prediction race today. Did all three races. It's 8.8, 4.4, and 2.2, and 1.1 mile course. I talked about this in some of the other videos, like while I was there today, but I'll just do a little recap. So, before I get started, I actually thought the race was yesterday. I got up yesterday morning, which would have been Saturday. Looked outside at 5:20 in the morning. The roads were all crappy. Didn't look like they really touched anything yet. So I was like, I'm not driving 81 miles down to Zelienople. Chance of wrecking or, even just taking a longer time to get there. And I feel like doing that because then, you're late for the race, you're rushing around, you can't warm up properly or whatnot. So I just went back to bed, till about 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, being lazy. I was kind of upset yesterday a little bit about it, just, for skipping the race because of weather, because I believe that you could run in any conditions. So the course itself wasn't going to stop me. It was more or less the drive there, just being safe and not really caring. Plus, I was on 4 hours of sleep. Then last night, I was talking to the timer. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't come today because the roads were bad. He's like, the race is tomorrow. So then I get on the website and look. I'm like, oh, crap, it's Sunday. I thought it was Saturday. So I went to bed a little early. Woke up because the roads were going to be fine. Headed down. Got up at 5:20 again. Probably got 5 hours of sleep last night. I usually run better actually on less sleep for races than I do with like 8 hours. Probably because my body just wants to get it done. So my whole way down, it was freezing. I could see it. It was in single temps. Pulling in the race, it was 2 degrees inside the what the car read. It was definitely cold. Registered, came out, got my things ready. They did the proclamation of the groundhog before we started. It was very small crowds today for all three races. So I can't really say I dominated the field because there wasn't more than like 20, 30 people in each race. I think the first one, the 8.8, only had like 10 people. So, you know what I mean? You can't really say, oh, I just destroyed the field or, brag about it too much. But a win's a win. You only compete, who's there. I started off fast. That way I figured if I do the first couple laps fast, then I can relax the second half of the race. And of course, then I was going to let the field dictate my pace too. I didn't want to go out too fast, just fast enough where I could constantly gap the whole field. Trying to think here. Nothing really exciting happened. I just got into like a mental zone where I didn't even think about the 8 laps. Because again, between the 3 races, I did 14 laps. Yeah, 8 plus 6, or 8 plus 4, and then 2 for the last one, so 14. I just checked in mentally, and I didn't really think about it, so that was a big help. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm just doing this over and over again. I just went to a special place. Can't really describe it. It was just one of those things where you just zone out. You really don't think of anything. I really didn't hear my music. And just kept running and running. I think I caught up on my 4th lap is when I started passing people that were in the race. To backtrack a little bit, the race itself, they call it a prediction race because you have the option to try to win a free entry for each race for the next year if you don't wear a watch or headphones. I didn't really care about that. I'd rather have the data and just race and, go for the win instead of trying to slow down a little bit to a comfortable, like my normal training 7:30 pace. Well, what I would have felt was my 7:30 pace in training, and just tried to go for a free entry. I actually wanted to win the race, and so I wore headphones and my watch, which is perfectly within the rules because I wasn't going for the free entries. Plus, that way, you don't know the course necessarily going into it. plus the conditions and just in general, like the different variables. So to me, predicting it would have been hard, even though that's sort of the fun of it for some people. But the 8.8, I pretty much got that pretty easily because, again, there was only like 10 people. Not to take anything away from those people, but I just played it smart in that first race. After the first race, I went and changed, get out of my wet clothes because I was, even though it was so cold out, like in single temps, I, just from running and wearing like I didn't wear this one, but I wore my cutting weight hooded one, so I was just like dripping in sweat. My head, my gloves and stuff were wet. Even like my compression shorts and stuff, even my socks were wet. So instead of getting cold, maybe a little hypothermic or slowing my body down a little bit, I changed all my clothes. I planned ahead and bought 3 changes of clothes for the race. Trying to think what else. Didn't have to go to the bathroom between races. Between the first and the second race, I just felt it because I think I shook everything up, or I think it was the energy drink I took on the way down because I was a little tired, so I had a caffeinated drink. I think I don't know what this, I don't want to say the brand, but we'll say I think it was Rain. I had like 300 milligrams or something. I think it said on caffeine, so it probably just wiped me out internally. Second race, the 4.44. All 3 races were pretty much spot on. I think it was maybe like a 10th off, like what they said it was, but that's GPS and the weather, so you can't really complain. I would say it was dead on with measurements. Of course, depending on how I took the tangent. Sometimes I took like one turn like inside, one time I took it outside, stuff like that. The 4.4 started out pretty good. I think halfway through the first lap, I had like a 10, maybe 15 at the most second lead on this person I saw in a gray hoodie behind me. I was like, all right, we'll see what they can do this first lap. Then second lap, they were still like in that comfortable 10, 15 seconds behind me, and I was like, you know what? This is making me uncomfortable. So, just in case they had a kick or something in there, maybe they were just like pacing off me, staying steady, and they were going to take me on the third or fourth lap. Well, the third lap, I decided, you know what? We're just going to see what happens now, and I just took off and jetted it a little bit for that third lap. Made a huge gap, probably like a 30-second gap, during that third lap. And the fourth lap, I looked back a few times. I didn't really see them close anymore. I don't even think I saw them. So then I felt comfortable when I could slow back up a little bit on that fourth lap. Again, you're trying not to burn out because you still have that 2.2 to go. Plus, if the person had a kick, you don't want them to kick and then you worked a little bit harder just in general and then overtake you at the finish, because that does happen. Like somebody comes up behind you if you're not paying attention and just goes right by at the finish line. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen. I think we'll say I was 30 seconds to a minute. I'd have to look at the results offhand, but I had a nice comfortable lead. Finished first again in the second one. Then the third one, did the same thing in between the 2 races. I went and changed clothes. Really had to go to the bathroom after the second one. I don't know what it was. I think because I finished the energy drink off or whatnot. Took a couple bites of a Nugo bar just to refuel, because by that point I'm like a half marathon in, so I needed something, because I didn't take any water during either race, just like after. Of course, normally 8.8, that's really nothing for me not to take water for. Unless I'm really redlining. Then the third race, the 2.2, I was feeling it a little bit. Even at the end of probably the 6th lap on the first race, even like my right lower calf, I think, was a little tight. I think I hit a pothole wrong and just made it sore. Just that constant course, because it was pretty much a flat course. I don't know what the elevation was again offhand, but it wasn't much, maybe 50 feet a lap. So it was just constant flat, and I haven't really been running on flat, so it was taking a toll on me. Roads were actually clear the whole time, so no issue there. But again, the last race, I took off a little bit. Since it's only 2 laps and 2.2 miles, I had to make sure I didn't leave anything on the table. You know, you didn't want somebody that had fresher legs from not doing the first two, you know, just to beat me because they had fresher legs. So I made sure dominate real quick. Then I let up the second lap and just cruised in. So I won all three today. Again, the fields are small, so I can't really say, ooh. I just, you know, whatever, but nothing to take away from the people there because everybody was nice and whatnot. I just wish there was more people because it is a fun race if you ever get to do it. It tests, well, obviously the weather sucked today because it was cold. I think it was 2 degrees, 13, started the second, maybe 20, might have hit 20 for the third because I kept going in and out of the vehicle just to stay warm and when I changed my clothes. It works on your mental game a little bit because you're doing laps and you got to find your zone, I guess, a little bit. I guess it'd be like running around the track all the time. Some people can do it, some people can't. So it's a little bit different for me. There was a lot of traffic today. I know I did this race a couple years ago. There was like no traffic, but today there was a ton of traffic. So you had to like dodge cars, pretty much the whole race. A couple of dogs, people walking dogs, just people walking or jogging the course too. It was actually pretty shocking how many people were out on the course that weren't even racing. Probably more people. Town was booming today. Let me see. Finally got to eat a couple little slices of, I think it was Fox's Pizza after all three races. Some hot chocolate that really hit the spot. For winning, I got a mug and a medal for each race, being first overall, and then she gave me 2 big loaves of that Jenny Lee bread for each race that I won. So I got 6 total, and then I had the one from just registration. So I came home with a lot of bread that I'm going to freeze. But it's really good bread. I really felt it on the way home. Got really tired. Nothing where I had to pull off or nothing, but just drank some tea to just stay warm, not warm, but awake. Made it home. All in all, it was a good day. I went there, accomplished what I needed to do. I think it was like 15. I think I got 15 miles total. Again, it was a little, maybe like a 10th short each race, so not really the 15.4 or whatever it was supposed to be. So then I ran 5 more on the treadmill because I had to take a nap because I was completely beat. Then I did my 20 on the bike. So, guess that's my race recap for today. If you ever get a chance to do one of the Joella's races, I think it's Fit Families is what her group is that they do races throughout the year. A lot of times she does 3 races, like the Shamrock, she'll have 3, like a half, 5K and a mile. And then she does like a Christmas race. I forget what the distances are, maybe like 3 miles, 2 miles, 1 mile, or something like that. That way, you know, she can, I don't know why she does it, but I think it's because it gives people an opportunity to try the distances they're comfortable in, or maybe push themselves, or whatever the reason. But she puts on good races, you know, they're fun, that you always get the bread, so that's always a plus. And they're usually like homemade medals or something unique. Like today was cool mugs. So yeah, figured I'd tell everybody that so I didn't have to type it out. It's getting boring typing everything out. So alright, see you guys out there.